Hi all, I have another fascinating game against the Texel chess engine. So this is a ranked 16 chess engine on the CCRL rating list at the moment. It was playing with a 4-core i7. I believe this is a 15-minute time control. Leela with a 1060 graphics card. Let's have a look. Knight f3 from Leela playing white, and the book moves given are a kind of anti-King's Engine system because white is playing knight c3 here, not the traditional c4. So knight c3 is the 8th choice in Chess-Based Live book, but it's got some interest because it's putting pressure on d5 here after knight e5. You can see both pieces hitting d5. Black takes in this book sequence, and here is the end of the book given to both engines. Now with e5 under fire, white actually decides to protect e5 rather than take on d5. We have c6. And what's really fascinating about this game, it seems as though white's very careful not to give black any counterplay. e4, we have check, king h1. And now Texel plays e6, which seems in some respects to be a logical move, but could it be a fatal downside e6? Isn't it weakening f6? And f6 already is slightly vulnerable because there's a pawn on g6. Look at this pawn chain. Is that significant, the f6 square? Hope you can think about that here. An alternative would have been, say, taking this position to keep the pawn on e7. And that's a little nuance, you might think. And what's the big deal? Well, let's have a look at the game continuation. So e6 is played. We have h4, very direct attacking move. h4, funny isn't that? So d4 is played, and knight just goes back to b1, so keeping an eye on the d pawn, and the knight's ready to reroute, say, to d2 to c4. Knight e2 is also possible, but whereas the knight going after that, the prospects are a bit limited on e2. It would, where would it go? It had to need g4 or something. So say c5, this position, black might be okay with f6 here. So knight b1, even though it looks a little bit weird, maybe it's better prospects than anywhere else. So rook d8, knight d2. So knight still got c4 or f3 to play with. Queen b4, you might think this is slightly weird. Queen b4. And it's tempting to sort of kick this queen, but Leela resists the temptation. We have h5. And it's almost as if white is playing an anti-traditional engine game here. There's no real counterplay for black at the moment. We see b6. Rook f2 in advance of any bishop a6, potentially. We have queen e7, queen just dropping back. So white hasn't weakened the queen side at all, which could have been a target. Now queen g4 is played. d3, and instead of taking it, which would unleash the black pieces, this position is looking at least equal when black takes on d3. No, Leela, kind of anti-traditional chess engine style, keeps things less tactical, just far less tactical, almost to zero, the tactics in this position for black. And the bishop's now hemmed in. If it was on this diagonal, it's hemmed in by its own pawn. Okay, you could argue this is a protected passed pawn, but it's firmly blockaded at the moment. And you could argue, well, what is white going to do here? Let's see, b5. In fact, the knight does move. The bishop can always blockade on d2, which it does do now. So protected passed pawn or blockaded pawn. It's also suppressing tactics from black here. Rook b8. And now white plays h takes g, which is very interesting. It reduces the flexibility now of black's position. Black can't have any h6 now. The h pawn chipped away. And in fact, we have queen h3, which unveils the possibility of g4. c4, okay, rook a f1. a5, as though black's trying to generate something on the queen side. But we have the move g4, and this to me is wonderful anti-traditional chess engine play, because if you look at the tactical potential of black's position, it's near zero. I mean, you might think the queen side is a bit scary, but white actually also has an active aggressive plan on the king's position, which is unveiled now. I'll try and keep some tension. Rook b6. We have bishop e3. Okay, scary to unblockade for a moment to hit the rook. Rook a6, king g1, we have queen e8, and now g5, so locking down the f6 square. Do you remember when I mentioned e6? This is a lockdown. And you might think, well, that's not important, is it? Or does it spell form pawn? Thorn. Is Leela spelling out form pawn here by playing e5 and g5? These two pawns are conspiring here, aren't they, to create a form pawn? And no, I haven't chosen this game because of the potential birth of a form pawn. Honest. So a4 is played, which to me is really ridiculous after a3. It's as if black is content to lock down its own queenside play. I mean, seriously, black's position is now devoid of much tactical potential, and white has got a killer maneuver available, knight h2 to g4 to f6, which I've used myself successfully a lot in bullet chess, and I've enjoyed doing that in particular. So black is already in a desperate state in this position because of this 1-2 free move threat to create a form pawn. You can imagine after that there's queen h7 if king f8. You know, it's just very, very dangerous. And black starts panicking already. Again from Edward Panic, black's panicking. b4 is played, c takes b4, so giving up a pawn for what seems to be nearly zero compensation. There might be, it seems, the idea of c3, but that's easily stopped. Bishop d2 and rook b6, so black's just giving away a pawn, and white's just playing this maneuver without a care in the world, basically. Knight h2. That's the way to play professional chess. Just no counterplay given to the opponents. I mean, it's great anti-classical engine play as well, because engines need like tactics. They need, you know, tactics to sort of know what's going on in the position. But here it's like there's nothing really black can do against this knight maneuver. White's setup here is really reinforcing f6 control. And another desperate giving away a pawn here, maybe to try and unblock the d pawn, but the bishop stays put. B takes c3. So what is black to show with these pawn sacrifices? After knight f6 check, bishop takes f6. Black didn't even wait for the birth of the form pawn, for the arrival on the scene of the form pawn, either with e takes or g takes. Black resigns here. It's a shocker to me. It's a shocking game. I'm wondering, was there anything in this game to show you? There's like no content. But it really, to me, I'm thinking about it more, and I'm thinking it's the right way to play against traditional chess engines. Leela is like showing us how to play even against brute force here in this game, because there was no counterplay. And it's over. Black's king safety is over here. An example continuation. Either e or g is strong. E takes with the form pawn. And this is super strong. Say queen f8. All white does here, can you guess? There's a very simple thing now, if the form pawn's installed, what white plays. As an example, bishop f3, just to play rook h2. What is black actually doing here? So bishop c6, rook h2. It will be end of game because of queen h8. Black will be forced to do something ridiculous just to stave off mate for a moment. And it works the other way, of course. You know, you can play it like this. It doesn't matter which form pawn. Just bishop f3 again, rook h2. So we'll go back to where black resigned. I feel I have to show you this game example. It really, although there seemed to be like nothing much happening, white's play was utterly decisive, and black's counterplay would seem to be near zero throughout the game. So interesting from that point of view. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks very much.